Okay, we are about to set off to Elevation Fitness here in Midtown, currently just close to Wynwood here in the Design District. I'm going to run you through my supplement protocol. So I'm a big fan of supplements to a degree, but less is more in my opinion. And actually in the last probably couple of months, I'd say 2 or 3 months, I've actually increased my supplementation. I've really kind of like niched down a little to a bit. So I'm going to run through what I have on a daily basis. So I've had my breakfast today. It's actually around about 9:30, 10 a.m. now. Had my breakfast, had my morning supplements. I'm going to run through what I normally take. So I've got my training supplements here and my kind of like health and longevity, vitality supplements here. So as I said, less is more. And currently I'm missing, which I need to order, omega-3, high strength omega-3 fish oils. So currently it's just multivitamin through here. And I'll either take this one by Aliment Nutrition, which is an English company, or this is my buddy's company. It's called Recovering Bro. It's a supplement brand and kind of like a lifestyle brand as well, and a training brand. So these are his. So these are, and the reason why I love these, I love powders. Not a great fan of pills. I love powders. I can mix in the drinks. And these liquid forms in terms of Busy Bee. This isn't a promotional thing, by the way. He only gave them to me when I was in Chicago. The first time I tried them, and I actually love them. So this is my B complex that I take on a daily basis. This is my Nutri Advanced Vitamin D3 with K2. K2 helps absorb and process and metabolize the D3. So vitamin D and vitamin B complex is very important for me. This is called Inard Peace. So this is basically a intestinal support formula. I have it once in the morning. I have this with my multivitamin powder as well, again from Recovering Bro. And I also put a scoop of branched-chain amino acids in. The reason why I take branched-chain amino acids is because I wake up in the morning around about 3 to 4 a.m., depending on what I've got on, depending on the markets, right now I need to be up and ready at 4 a.m. because that's when the markets here open in terms of the UK time. And I will start off with my branched-chain amino acids. I'll start off with my multivitamin. I'll start off with my Inard Peace, and I'll also add B complex and D3 and K2, because then I'll go straight into my walking pad and straight into the laptop, and I'll be working for about 90 minutes to 2 hours before I have my breakfast. So that is my kind of like health and vitality supplements through there. Now pre-training, now this is whey protein. Whey protein is protein. It's just, as everyone knows, there's no speciality to it. Vegan protein, whey protein, yes, there are slight differences between plant-based protein and whey protein in terms of the amino acid profile, but we can get into that argument at a later date. Now I use this because of my Ninja Creamy. The only reason why I use whey protein is sometimes if I fancy something sweet, I love to blend it with ice, but I also love the Ninja Creamy to make a nice little sweet snack in the evening. But this is what I take. C4, I either take a drink similar to the Monster, a little bit of energy. This is my stimulant. This has also got beta-alanine, I think citrulline malate, arginine, yeah, citrulline, basically almost like it's got creatine in as well. I only actually got this yesterday. I've been taking this one recently. So this one is just a pump. Think of it as like a nitrous oxide. Beta-alanine, citrulline malate, it basically just gives you a muscular pump. Does it actually help with training, or does it help with absorption or nutrient delivery? Potentially, but it does make you feel pretty damn good in the gym. Now I take this with creatine monohydrate, simple raw form creatine monohydrate, 10 to 12 grams a day on a daily basis. Timing doesn't really matter, but within TB community, we work with over 250 females, most of them over the age of 30 to 35. Creatine is not just a training supplement. There's been so much research recently about the benefits, the cognitive benefits of taking creatine. And to be honest, there'll be a lot of people trying to sell you an expensive form of creatine ethyl ester, creatine, all kinds of creatine that have better osmolality in terms of being able to digest better. But honestly, creatine monohydrate, simple, cheap, effective. For females, 5 to 6 grams. For males, 10 to 12 grams a day. And that is my supplement routine. I'll be taking these, except the whey protein. I'll either be taking one of the pre-workouts, probably this one, because this is non-stim based with my creatine. And this will be my stimulation, because we are about to head to Elevation Fitness to train legs with my trainer Valerio here in Miami, and he does not go lightly. So let's get on, let's enjoy this, and you can just have a laugh at me in incredible amounts of pain and not be able to walk. The first time I trained with him 2 weeks ago when I came to Miami, I couldn't walk for a week, and that is serious. And that is just gives me an indication that I blatantly have not been working legs hard enough on my own. So anyway, come join us. Let's head to Elevation. Okay, so we are off to Elevation, the one in Midtown. Elevation's a decent gym here. They've got a couple. I think they got one of Sunny Isles down through here. Near Hollywood, I believe, is the one. There was one on the beach where I used to stay, but that's now disappeared. But Valerio, my treinador aquí, in Brazilian guy, I met back in 2018, I believe. Started training with him back then, and every time I come to Miami, he takes me through some grueling sessions, 3 to 4 sessions a week. So definitely currently in a more, I'd say, bodybuilding-esque training phase. Last year was a lot to do with kind of like high rocks, increasing my cardio fitness, which I hadn't done for ages. So that was enjoyable. I still plan to do a high rocks with one of my coaches, Jess. We're going to get a TB Community High Rocks team together, probably towards the end of this year. But very much been focusing on this year because I felt I lost a little bit of lean muscle, which I did actually mind last year. I've always been big. I'm currently 230 pounds. I was at my heaviest, 280 pounds. That's when I used to compete. But now at a much lighter and happier 230. Fairly lean, fairly conditioned at the moment. So feeling pretty good about training. But last year, not doing as much strength training, I felt I did lose a bit of muscle, which I was kind of fine with, but I lost strength as well. So this year has been very much focused on building that back up. And yeah, that means higher volume workout, more strength focused intensification phases, and more lifting. And part of the reason why I kind of switched to high rocks is I was getting a little bit bored. But strength training is monotonous. It's essentially quite boring. You're doing similar movements day after day, 3, 4, 5 days a week. And yeah, it can be quite monotonous. So that's why people essentially get bored, because they don't feel like they're getting results. But at the end of the day, strength training is all about progression. Strength training is about doing similar things day in, day out, and increasing in strength, increasing in volume, increasing in frequency, whatever it may be, whichever data point you track. And that is your level of progression, whether you're doing it for strength, pure strength, and not really worried about muscle mass, or whether you're doing it for kind of like competition, bodybuilding, bikini competing, whatever it may be, whether you're doing it for aesthetics. It's a similar kind of thing. You always want to know that you are progressing to a certain point. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean adding 5 kilograms to the bar or the dumbbells every time you lift. That is going to be nigh and impossible. You will be as strong as an ox and be able to lift a house in about 6 months. It's really about trying to do a little bit more or progress, but that's based on more of a phase by phase, month by month basis rather than a session by session. It's always good to track metrics. It's always good to track loads. It's very important when you're doing strength training and bodybuilding, because you kind of want to know from month to month and from every 6 months that you are getting stronger. You are moving forward when it comes to that. And yeah, that is what we are doing through here. So currently my training split, I do 2 lower body days a week, 1 push focused, 1 pull focused. My quads generally are fairly big to a certain degree, and this is coming from someone who used to have very skinny legs. But most of my work now is actually through posterior chain. So hamstring and glute focus, I've always found it difficult to switch on my glutes. So that's been very much a focus through there. A lot of posterior chain exercises, which I enjoy. I don't deadlift, I don't squat, just for the lower back issues. I kind of cut that out. It's just not worth it for me. Partially herniated disc, and that's fine. You don't have to squat, you don't have to deadlift. It's not something you have to do to get gains, to progress. I think that's more of people see that as a kind of like macho sense of being able to squat, and I used to love it as well. And to be fair, that's how I did grow my legs. I did a lot of squatting, and actually had damaged my back doing deadlifting. But yeah, it's all good. I love the hack squat. I love the Bulgarians. I love pendulum squats, one of my favorite. So there's definitely a lot of stuff you can do. It doesn't always have to be focused on big barbell squats. Anyway, let's get to the gym, see where we are, see Valerio, and I'm very much a little bit apprehensive about the level of volume that he's going to push through to me. But anyway, time to get those legs destroyed. Okay, we are here, Elevation Fitness. I met this guy back in 2018, training at the Elevation Fitness a little bit further downtown. He's now been my trainer every time to come to Miami. Valerio from Brazil. Valerio, O que nós treinamos hoje?
Hoje treinamos leg day, duro.
Duro.
Toda vez que Tom está em Miami, treinamos pesado. Leg day, chest, back, bíceps, tríceps, ombro, mas principalmente legs.
Eu gosto de treinar pernas, né?
Exato.
Então, we're going to hit a session now. I'll tell you at the end how it was. But once again, thank you, David. Thank you, Valerio.
Thank you.
Todos. Todos. Quadríceps, hamstrings, glúteos. Tudo. Tudo. 10, 11. Quantos? 15? 20. 15. 17. 18. 9. 20. Priming up. Starting off, we've got the speakers very loud in here. Starting off with leg extension. Bit of blood into the tissue. I'm not doing this session, by the way. This is Valerio's session. He's taking me through. Doesn't speak much English, only Portuguese, so nós falamos em português, tá? Só hoje. Eu vou praticar. Você fala português ou não? Fala. Só espanhol.
Similar.
12. I always thought if I spoke Portuguese, Spanish people would understand me. But no, I still need to learn Spanish. 3. Always blitzing on the first one. This man is about volume. Never shies away from a bit of volume. Vamos. ¿Cuántos?
12.
With pause?
6, stop, 6.
Okay. 6 para 6. 1. Three, 4, para, aí, sa.
Vamos. 3, 4, 5.
Aí, sa. Fucking hell, it's only the first set. The first set, I'm feeling it. All good there. Busy. Fuck. Tanta? Mais? Tanta. Acabou. Next on, let's go round 2. What we got? Looks like he's heading over. Oh, fucking pendulum squat, my favorite. Valerio. Fuck.
How was that?
Fucking delicious. Delicioso. But it just gets in. The pendulum squat, something about it. It's the whole position. Now the pendulum squat, the way it's made, if you have a bad back, if you suffer with lower back issues like myself, things like pendulum squats, hack squats, just as good, if not better. Especially for the more aesthetic focused person. Just because you can move your feet around, you can sit into position, you don't have to worry about the actual movement, stabilization, supporting factor. We'll literally just focus on what's working, and that is a shit ton of quads and a little bit of glutes and hamstrings if you get the foot position right, but quad loaded focused exercise. And I do love a good quad exercise. That one? That's what I say about legs. Coming from somebody who used to have very skinny legs back in the day, I was telling the guy I knew here in the change rooms, the reason why, so I played rugby to a semi-high level, got taken out through injury, and then probably for about 3 or 4 years didn't train legs at all, and that's when I was really hitting the gym. My upper body obviously responded, got quite big, and my legs stayed the same, probably lost even muscle. Probably strength training, so I wasn't doing anything. And an ex of mine, training with her at the gym, we were doing split squats on the Smith machine. She got on, 245s on each side, we call them 20 kgs in the UK, 245 plates on each side, banging them out, up and down, up and down. I got on after her, stuck 215s on, and I was like, yeah, so that literally, that was this turning point. From then on, I was doing nothing but squatting and building my legs. That was an embarrassing time. Vamos. Dazed? Tá bom? Mexe devagar.
Slow, hein?
Slow. So today we're just doing full lower. As I said before in the car, normally I split my 2 lower days into posterior chain and anterior chain, so I do kind of quads, glutes, hams, quad focus on a Monday. Then probably Thursday do more hamstring and glute focus, no quads. Calves every day as well. But still, that's a continued effort. Just like glutes with females, calves with guys. It's a lifelong struggle if you're not born with good calf genetics. Oof. Nice.
Vamos. Vamos, 9.
Vamos. 6, 8, 10, 12. Come on.
Mais 3. 2, mais 1. Vamos.
10. That was fucking disgusting. This is the kind of stuff I don't do on my own. Not only in that, getting caned in the gym by Valerio, getting caned in the stock market on CFD. I'm getting caned everywhere today. Nice. As you can see, sweating buckets. So far, leg extension, we call that a primer up for the quads, maybe a pre-exhaust, pre-fatigue. We went on to pendulum squat, one of my favorites. Started quite light, literally with 145, 10 to 12 reps, increasing weight, increasing volume as you go to point of failure on the last. We then hit lying hamstring. Oh no, then we hit leg press. Fucking hell, I forgot the leg press with the monster drop set at the end. And then we hit lying leg curls, which I like lying leg curls, but my preference is all going to be seated. And actually, based on some actual research, not fake research, seated hamstring is supposed to be better for the hamstring just because you're in a seated, more flexed position. So you actually get the bicep femoris, the longest head of the hamstring, working harder. A lot of people think lying hamstring is more isolated to a certain degree, but if you get a good seated hamstring curl, which is one down there, fucking pizza. So lying, now onto seated, and then fucking hell, who knows what we got coming next? We shall see. Vamo?
Push.
Ah, está mais peso.
Pesado?
Tá, não, tá. Pouco. A little bit off.
Aí.
Nice. Tá bom. Oh, this is the gluteator. Rarely, in London, you don't find this shit. In the UK, I'm pretty sure I have never seen a gluteator in a gym in the UK. There probably is one somewhere, definitely not London. Now this is similar to like the abduction machine, the kind of seated abduction, except the seated abduction for most people doesn't really work. Trains out of thighs, rarely do people get actually a good level of glute med and glute minimus activation. This one, because of the position you're in, not only does it go out, it goes down. Probably saw on the movement, that is essentially movement out and down, put pressure on the heels, get a lot better drive through even glute max if you do it right. You can lean back, you can lean forward, great bit of kit. Every gym should have one. Unfortunately, they're tough to find. But you come to a well-stocked gym like this, it's always an absolute bloody pleasure. Probably why I plan to stay 3 weeks and I've been here 6 weeks already. I will have to return to London at some point though. I think that's done. Done. Okay, that is session done. We are heading back from elevation back home. Legs suitably destroyed. I think I figured out what it was. Why I don't feel like I push myself when I'm on my own. Because Valerio loves a drop set. He loves a superset, everything. And it's one of those things that's, when you go and you just want to be fucking destroyed in terms of, it's just very easy to do. Anyone can train anyone hard. But it was a good session. We did, as you are well aware, because you've probably seen it, we started off on leg extension, went to pendulum squat to further destroy the quads, then went to leg press to further end the quads, then hit hamstrings, lying hamstring, which is actually a great bit of kit. Normally I prefer seated, then we did do seated as well. And we finished off glutes with the gluteator machine, which is by far a hell of a lot better than the regular abduction machine. So that was good session. Now we're gonna go home and get some food. And then, what time is it? 12:30, got a couple of hours work, and then heading off to the beach to Smith Walensky's for our usual Friday night to meet up with my uncle. And then, yeah, that is a day in Miami Beach. Say Miami Beach, downtown Miami, Design District. But yeah, guys, check it out. Make sure you are following me on Instagram, TV Conditioning. Make sure you're following me on TikTok, Coach Tom Brazier. Make sure you're obviously following me on this, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Go click that little button down there. It really does help. But for now, I shall speak to you later, and you are very much welcome.